is ranked. Big 12 on the horizon, the Big 12 championship, rather, on the horizon for both of these teams, both fighting against Colorado, against Iowa State, and, of course, against the big dogs in the conference, BYU, up in Provo, Utah. It's Ronan Heykoop here. Alongside me is Ryan Myers. And we are just underway here. Apologize for a couple technical difficulties, but it was a very quick interception by Xavier Alford, put Arizona State in very favorable field position, and a connection between Levitt and Jordan Tyson, which Maroon and Gold fans all year have been very accustomed to. So it is 7-0 from the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas, and Arizona State fans all over Twitter. I'm sure the few that made it out there to the Little Apple in Manhattan, and of course, so many watching from back here in the Valley are quite pumped.
Yeah, I mean, it's the dream start, Ronan. You have a game in which you're playing a number 16 team in the country in Kansas State, and all you can ask for is just to be in the game early. Arizona State struggled in road games early on. You saw it against Cincinnati. You see it against Texas Tech. And now to get an interception early on the defensive side from Xavier Alford, you score and make the most out of that interception in the first drive. Now you essentially have a drive ahead in this game. And we already talk about how the middle eight's so important. Arizona State elected to defer on the opening kickoff, having possession out of halftime, and they're already in a great advantage so far, so it's a perfect start for them. And seeing the Levitt-Tyson connection early on in this game is also great, because obviously that's going to be a point of emphasis for Kansas State, trying to stop that duo between both of them.
And Arizona State's receiving core, obviously you talk about Cam Scadaboo, who's obviously back this week after missing last weekend against UCF due to a shoulder injury, but that receiving game has been, I think, an underrated portion of this Arizona State offense. And for Kansas State, Jordan Tyson, I'm sure, was at the very top of that scouting report when you're looking at the receivers. So it's a very good sign for the Arizona State Sun Devils to get that connection early. And, of course, Sam Levitt, a true freshman quarterback, a huge game. Obviously, we saw him play very well against Utah in spurts, of course, knocked up a little bit during that game, but it'll be very important for not just Sun Devil fans this season, however it shakes out, but for the years to come, how Sam Levitt carries himself in these type of games is going to be so crucial. And talk about crucial, how important is this game to Arizona State? You talk about a team that has 6 wins in the last 2 previous seasons, of course, the conclusion of the Herm Edwards saga as well as the Ray Anderson tenure. You bring in Graham Rossini, you bring in Kenny Dillingham the year prior. You're not really expecting to play meaningful football this late in the year, this early, but you got 7 wins. You're bowl eligible 2 weeks ago, and now you're sitting there and you're thinking, is there a college football playoff picture for Arizona State? And a win tonight will be extremely important as we return 11-19 in the first quarter as Arizona State kicks it all the way back for a touchback, and Kansas State will get the ball on their own 25. Manhattan, Kansas, a sea of purple tonight, packed out from the Shamrock Zone. It's going to be interesting for Arizona State to also manage this very hostile home crowd as Avery Johnson, number 2 in purple, walks out for his second drive of the night.
Yeah, he's an incredible young quarterback, Ronan, only a sophomore himself, and he's shown a lot of prowess so far in his young career.
Takes a snap, play action, going to hand it off to his trusty running back, number 31 in purple, DJ Giddens, excuse me for that. All the technical difficulties got my mind elsewhere. And Avery Johnson, we saw him kind of knocked up earlier in the season with an oblique injury. Seen that a lot in the NFL as well with quarterbacks. He had to return or get sent to the locker room, rather, but looks healthy thus far. In the pistol now is Johnson looking for the slot. It's going to be a screen pass to Giddens. Great catch from him, and he's going to cut up field, and about an 8-yard pickup for him. Got around a very stout outside Sun Devil lineup, and Arizona State on defense has been very solid throughout the season, but certainly hasn't lived up to, has lived up past expectations. A unit that wasn't necessarily expected to be at the top of the conference, wasn't necessarily expected to be doing the things they're doing, but already gave Sam Levitt fantastic field position early with that pick we talked about before we were on air. Now it's Avery Johnson in the shotgun. Going to motion 2 to his right of the formation, 1 to his right, 1 to his left. Looks into the side of the formation, right up the gut off the right hash. It's going to be a pass completed to number 86. And that will be number 86, Garrett Oakley, the sophomore tight end, standing at a stout 6'5", 239. He's coming out of Columbus, Nebraska. And Oakley been an important part of this young core for Kansas State. Kansas State, identical record in both the overall and in the Big 12, 7-2, 4-2. Going to be a play action pass, slown out to the left-hand side. That will be picked up by number 1 for Kansas State. That will be Jace Brown.
Yeah, Brown, a very capable wide receiver, one of Johnson's favorites. We see a lot of different looks he gets, whether it's outside or through the slot at moments as well. Unfortunately, that interception was actually a pass intended for him, well defended by Shamar Simmons. They'll have a long battle tonight. Let's see if he can get back into it.
ASU bringing 5, handoff to Giddens. He cuts up field and gets almost up to the first down. Will be a pickup of 4, bring up 3rd and 1. And Arizona State managing the run game did a fantastic job of that, especially in that Utah game where Cam Rising was pretty banged up. There's a dump off across to Edwards, not Giddens. And Arizona State wearing the road white, all white with maroon pants, some maroon accents on the helmet. I'm biased, but looks fantastic on the field. Right up the gut, handoff. It was Edwards again. He's going to be stopped short. Bring up a testy 4th down from Kansas State's own 47-yard line.
Yeah, that's been one of the knocks on this Kansas State team so far this season. Despite being ranked 16th in the country, they really struggle in a lot of 3rd down conversions, only 10th in the conference in that metric, Ronan. Definitely something that ASU is going to be looking to exploit throughout this game is getting those stops on 3rd down, because when you can do that, despite whether being at home or on the road, it hugely impacts the offensive rhythm and mechanics for a guy like Avery Johnson.
Kansas State looking like they were ready for a tush-push-esque play on 4th and 1. Kenny Dillingham called a timeout before the snap could be made. The K-State sideline frustrated with it. Not sure if there was a miscommunication between the official. The official was still in between the formation, had not set the ball. So Kenny Dillingham, of course, still well within his rights to call the timeout. But we've seen this all year. Kenny Dillingham, a very famous, kind of gutsy guy, especially on 4th down. And you see coaches try to play up to Kenny Dillingham's gutsiness, the young 34-year-old, the youngest head coach in the NCAA.
You know, you talk about players being fearless all the time, Ronan, and for a head coach with his age and his experience so far, he's as fearless as it gets.
Avery Johnson, as you just said, Meyer, 62% on 4th down conversions, good for 8th in the Big 12. Certainly not where a team like Kansas State's caliber wants to be. Avery Johnson now in the pistol, going to hand it off to Giddens. He's going to get just there. It might be it. Comes up to the spot. Looks like the official's giving an Arizona State spot.
Yeah,
looks like he'll be a half yard short. Will be very tight, Ryan. Arizona State very confident they stopped him short. It was very close. The spot maybe advanced 6 or 7 inches past the original line of scrimmage. So will be a turnover on downs, and Arizona State fired up. And I think that's honestly the hallmark of this Arizona State team is, hey, especially on the defensive side, it's just the energy. And you could see Edwards got caught behind his own offensive lineman. And, of course, leading the way was Keith Abney the second, flying through the formation. And Arizona State just fired up early against this Kansas State team. It was Taylor Poitner, the right guard, kind of just got caught up in the block, lost the battle to Clayton Smith, it appeared. And it wasn't able to create the gap for Edwards, and he just ran right in the back of him.
Nah, it was a great defensive showing there from ASU, and they've gotten better at that over the course of the season as well, as getting those stops in those tight conversion situations at the beginning of the season, some miscommunications, some issues of being sturdy as a unit when close quarters come and they arise, and on that play, Ronan, it was perfect. It was great execution, and stopping a running back like Giddens, on a play like that is not easy at all. So credit Arizona State. The defense is everywhere early in this one. 2 huge possessions to start, and ASU has a chance to go up double figures in the opening stanza of this game, and that would be huge, immense for their confidence in this road one, and kind of showing the whole world what they can do. So much discourse over the last couple of days has been about Arizona State, being a good team, but they haven't really played that many good teams. They haven't been able to knock out some of the best teams in the country. A lot of teams on their schedule that are supposed to be really good have kind of shown to not be that way through the course of the season. And now they're in a situation where if they can win a game like this on the road against a top 25 team in their conference, I mean, it does them a world of good confidence-wise, getting into latter stages of the season, preparing for big bowl games. This is a really huge test for Arizona State, and so far they're passing with flying colors.
100% Ryan. And in terms of the college football top 25 and, of course, the top 12 that's ever so more important now with the extension of the college football playoff, only one Big 12 team currently sits. You got a lot of SEC teams, no surprise there. You got an independent Notre Dame team that kind of throws a fork in everyone's plans, and then a Boise State team that's just absolutely rolling is fresh out. You look at the number 1 seeded Oregon Ducks. They'll, of course, have the number 2 Texas Longhorns, as well as the BYU Cougars and the Miami Hurricanes, those 4 Power 4 winners. The Ducks from the Big Ten, the SEC Longhorns, the Big 12 Cougars, and the ACC Hurricanes will get that first-round bye. And then those first-round matchups get a little squirrely. It's Notre Dame, Tennessee as of right now. It's Boise State, Ohio State. It's Ole Miss, Penn State. And it's Alabama, Indiana. And you just go to show you only see one Big 12 team in there, but you think if an Arizona State team or a Colorado team could really sneak their way in there, especially if BYU loses to Arizona State next week, it's going to be very interesting to see. Unfortunately for Arizona State, it's really going to come down to that Notre Dame spot. Notre Dame being fantastic this season and kind of rebounding from that Northern Illinois loss at the beginning of the year has been very frustrating for a lot of the Big 12 teams, not just Arizona State, but Big 12 is kind of taking that second Big 12 spot away. And the Big 12 has been a very competitive conference as we see Kenny Dillingham on the sideline getting his boys fired up. And when a head coach has almost more energy than the guys between the lines, you're normally up for some pretty good things. As Sam Levitt returns to the field, next to him is his trusty running back number 4, Cameron Scadaboo. Levitt in the shotgun in the all-white throws to his right. It's going to be batted away and almost caught, and may have been caught and dropped by number 79 of Arizona State's offensive line. It was the center, Leaf Fontenot, almost coming away with the batted ball, and a moment of worry there for Arizona State. You never want to see a ball go up in the air quite like that.
Yeah, credit Obizauer on the defensive end for that rejection on the SWAT. A huge play for them to start the possession.
And screen pass to Mateer off the far side. He's rumbling up for a pickup of 3 or 4. It'll bring up third down. Friendly reminder on the spots. We are not in Manhattan, Kansas. Unfortunately, we're here in the Blaze Radio bunker in Tempe, Arizona. And Levitt, just a nice little sidearm dump off there to Mateer. Tries to bully his way upfield, but just to see a purple in front of him. Bring up 3rd and 8. It was a 2-yard pickup. And K-State getting loud here, trying to force a 3-and-out. And this is where Arizona State struggled, especially last week against UCF in the early days, is not being able to keep their defense that's been so great for them all season off the field. Levitt now in the shotgun. Got 2 to his left, 1 to his right. Looking downfield. Takes the snap. Rolls to his left. A sea of purple in front of him, and he'll just have to throw that one away. A smart play from Sam Levitt there, and now a decision to be made for Kenny Dillingham. An awkward location to punt. They're still on that K-State 46.
Yeah, and this is a situation he's talked about a lot in the past, Ronan. And a lot of times, especially at home, Dillingham's very likely to go for 4th downs here. You're in enemy territory. You're not in a bad spot to go for it. But for a possession sake, for momentum's sake, a lot of times like to take their offense off the field, punt it, and get down deep into Kansas State's territory, give their defense a lot of good field position to start their own possession, rather than force something trying to get a 4th down play to go.
And they'll sit back. It's Floyd to punt it away, number 32, and it'll just bounce right on the goal line. Unfortunate there. So a touchback gives K-State a little bit of room to breathe, but special teams has been a question mark for Arizona State. Of course, the famous kicking fiasco but Floyd just missed that one there by a couple of yards. Didn't get the backspin he wanted as DJ Giddens and Cam Scadaboo as a running back pairings. 174 rushing yards average for Cam Scadaboo. Excuse me, not average. Total is 1,003. 997 for Giddens. Both have been fantastic members of this Big 12 conference. And Avery Johnson now going to put a man in motion, going to take it himself. Going to try to bully his way upfield, but Abney's there. Pickup of 3 on the read option.
Yeah, something that you'll see Johnson do a lot of today is these read option plays. During the week, defensive coordinator from Arizona State, Brian Ward, compared him to Lamar Jackson for his ability to run the ball, pass, and do everything you would want out of a quarterback. There's a real improviser. We'll probably see him using his legs a lot today, Ronan.
And that's what they're trying to turn Sam Levitt into on the other side for Arizona State. 2 to his left, 1 to his right, that being Johnson in the shotgun now. Arizona State brings 4. Screen pass over to the side. It was more of a slant, and Abney's there for the pass breakup. It was Oakley trying to come away with it. Would have been a great catch to his back shoulder, but Abney was there.
Yeah, we've seen Keith Abney grow as an individual over the course of the last couple of days as well.
I hate to interrupt you, but on Avery Johnson's jersey, the Big 12 logo is backwards. I can't imagine the last time I saw that. I thought for a second, wait, we're on TV, it might be mirrored. It is definitely not. Don't know why I would have thought that, but Avery Johnson now scrambling out of the pocket, and he's going to throw it. It's going to be a drop pass there, an unfortunate drop, wide open on the far side, well within the safety's bounds, was number 12, Trey Spivey, the redshirt wide receiver out of Chandler, Arizona, a Hamilton football legend. The Hamilton Huskies, of course, one of the premier programs here in the Valley when you talk about 6A football.
Yeah, we've had 2 really good defensive possessions from Arizona State, and then now one really poor offensive showing from Kansas State in that situation. 2 drop passes in 1 drive and 3 plays is pretty unacceptable. If I'm Johnson, I'm pretty frustrated from that 3 and out, especially when you're already trailing at home. You know, the last thing you need is to see drops. That really kills momentum, and it kills confidence as well. It kills the quarterback's confidence in his receiving core. It kills the receiver's confidence to make plays when they need to make them. So not the start that Kansas State would have drawn up if they had the opportunity to. If you're ASU, you got to capitalize while they're down because you're not going to play this poorly or out of whack for the majority of the game with the home crowd behind them in their comfortable environment. But definitely a really good start for the Sun Devils.
K-State off to a slow start. Arizona State not quite. It's 7-0 for Manhattan, Kansas, and we'll step aside for a quick intermission and come back with the rest of the first quarter of football from the Little Apple.
Yeah, if you don't mind, thank you. Oh, I know Domney was there. That's cool. Thank you, good sir. Unironically, this is kind of crazy. I don't know what I expected from this game, but I don't know. This is tough. Good for them. Matt Berry somewhere cheesing right now.
We return to football here in Kansas State, both literally and figuratively from Manhattan, Kansas. It's the Arizona State Sun Devils, and it's the K-State Wildcats. Arizona State up 7-0, 5:45 left in this first quarter. Hand off to Cam Scadaboo. He's been quiet today, and he's going to bully upfield. Going to be a pickup of 5 for Arizona State, starting back at their own 33-yard line. Cam Scadaboo with a nifty little spin move there gets around number 36 of the defense for Kansas State. And we saw just a few moments ago Avery Johnson trying to get the boys fired up on the sideline. And now Levitt, 2 to his right, 1 to his left. In the shotgun is Cam Scadaboo, going to hand off to Scadaboo. Scadaboo, patient, finds a hole, bullies upfield. Going to be a pickup of 3, bring up third and about a yard.
And it's incredible when you have a running back that can do what he can do on offense, Ronan. Obviously missing last week. They saw, despite winning against UCF, how much you miss a guy like Cam Scadaboo, only rushing for 99 yards in total. And seeing him back in the lineup is a real huge addition that this team needs in order to hit the heights they think they can reach.
And Cam Scadaboo was definitely frustrated missing that UCF game, was practically begging Kenny Dillingham to let him get in the third quarter post-halftime. Arizona State Sun Devils, however, were able to get a win off that one with a slow start. A confusion there on 3rd and 1. They were in the pistol, Arizona State, but Kenny Dillingham didn't like what he saw, called his second charge timeout. So 2 timeouts have been burned from Kenny Dillingham, as we see the clip now from ESPN of Cam Scadaboo asking Kenny Dillingham, hey, put me in, coach. I got it.
Yeah, he was begging. And, you love to see that attitude from him, because when your best players are just yearning to get on the field, no matter how they're feeling or what their circumstances are, it really trickles down to the rest of the team. And you can see it from all the players. You can feel it when you're at practices or watching this team play. They really play for each other, no matter how talented or what this team was touted to be at the beginning of the season. They really do care about the success of the program, and each and every one of them is trying their hardest to get these W's on the winning column.
There's very few brands with enough of the cool factor as Arizona State. Obviously, being an ASU student, I'm quite biased, but Cam Scadaboo now the only player in the FBS with 1,000 rushing yards and 300 receiving yards, 6 straight games with a rush TD, multiple TDs in 4 of his 8 games, and a 4-time Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. And now in the Wildcat is Cam Scadaboo on 3rd and 1. He's going to bully upfield. Cam Scadaboo, have yourself a run. Was almost dead to rights, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Was just patient, found the hole that nobody else saw but him, I think, in the arena, and picked up 8 yards, and now into K-State territory is Arizona State.
What a play. What a rush from Cameron Scadaboo on 3rd down. I mean, talk about the energy and the ability to just make something happen out of sometimes virtually nothing. Great blocking by the team, good movement from the running back, and a huge first down for ASU.
Loaded backfield from Levitt. Levitt going to look downfield, going to fire along when showing off the arm talent. Thrown up is Mateer, and Mateer with an Odell Beckham-esque attempt at the grab with his left hand. Couldn't come away with it. I think there was some miscommunication on that last move of that route. I think Levitt was looking for more of a go route. It was a stop and go from Mateer out of the formation. And the stop was wide open. He kept running. Had he kept running, likely Sam Levitt was going to be able to deliver that one to the back shoulder away from the safety lurking on the right hash.
You can see Levitt seemingly talking to some coaches saying, hey, I saw the route, versus maybe what was actually drawn up for him, and slight miscommunication on that play, unfortunately.
Arizona State in the shotgun. Levitt going to call an audible. Looks downfield to Mateer again. Tries to spin out of the pocket. Steps up, and Sam Levitt with a little bit of improvisation. And he's going to slide upfield. Goes down for the slide, and he's drilled on the way down. No flag comes. He didn't quite make contact with the ground. Definitely an awkward play. I think it could have gone either way. Fortunately for the K-State faithful, doesn't. And just a fantastic bit of improvising there from Sam Levitt. Cam Levitt. Not quite his name, unfortunately. 3rd and 6 now for Arizona State. 3:10 left in the first quarter. 7-0 still in favor of the maroon and gold. And Sam Levitt now in the shotgun, 2 to his right, 2 to his left. K-State going to bring 4. Sam Levitt going to have to step out in the pocket again. Going to be a holding penalty as Sam Levitt's going to move upfield for the first down. This one's going to come back, unfortunately, for number 10 in white. Beat off the edge, appeared to be the right tackle, Bram Walden. Excuse me, no, it's going to be number 77, Kyle Scott, likely.
Looks like there was a double penalty for a holding and then a face mask as well.
There's a face mask downfield, so Arizona State gets slightly bailed out with that one. Bring up 3rd and 6 again for Kenny Dillingham's Devils. And the face mask downfield was called on the nickel, Marcus Sigel, excuse me. So 3rd and 6 again. Trips to the right, 1 to the left. Screams read option from Arizona State. Levitt going to put Cam Scadaboo to his right. Going to be a handoff to Scadaboo. He's going to cut upfield. A burst from Cam Scadaboo, and he'll barrel his way to a first down. And Arizona State moves the chains on the back of Scadaboo. With just 2:07 left in this first quarter, still 7-0 in favor of Arizona State. Cam Scadaboo just so fantastic after that initial contact. One of, if not the best in the country. Unfortunately for Cameron Scadaboo, a man named Ashton Genty does exist. But other than that, there's not too many better prospects in terms of, after that initial contact, being able to make something out of nothing. Levitt 2 to his right, 2 to his left in the pistol. Going to fire to his left. It's caught by Jordan Tyson. Nearly dropped it, and he's going to move the chains. A pickup of 11 for Jordan Tyson. And Tyson almost dropped that one. Came down off the curl route, kind of bobbled it in his own hands, turned a little bit too quickly, was running without the football secure, but was, as the talented Jordan Tyson does frequently, bails himself out.
Yeah, he's incredible, isn't he? I mean, at Colorado, didn't really have the opportunity to show what he can do, and at Arizona State, he's really turned his collegiate career around this season.
Sam Levitt in the shotgun, 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Going to look downfield, deliver a long pass over the top, and it's Xavier Guillory and just out of the hands. And why I mean out of the hands, it was a grab you'd expect Xavier Guillory to make, but it certainly wasn't an easy grab. He was coming off the high post and just had to track it down, and just an awkward ball over the shoulder. Possibly would have been a touchdown. There was a little bit of contact downfield that kind of delayed his last cut, and why the ball landed a couple yards ahead of him.
Yeah, that's one of your Xavier Guillory. You honestly got to bring home, right, wide open, and a chance to walk in for 6 if you get your hands through it and keep the grab going.
3rd and 1. Who else but Cam Scadaboo? Reached for the first down. Looked like he got the forward progress, and the spot is a yard pass, so a pickup of 2 from Cameron Scadaboo, and he'll move the chains again for the Devils. 30 seconds left in this first quarter. Arizona State probably going to run one more play, and this is exactly what you wanted, Ryan, out of this Arizona State team, is to chew some clock. Give that Arizona State defensive unit a rest. Not to sound like a broken record, but that was the true test against UCF.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been a quarter where the defense has been incredible, better than what you could have ever imagined.
And that's what Dylan Risk from UCF does so well. And Arizona State going to get called on a false start, a pre-snap penalty. Another theme from UCF. Both teams struggled with those pre-snap penalties.
Looks like it was on the center and the captain, Lee Fatanu, on that one. And, I think he'll have some words with the officiating crew about what exactly may have happened, but obviously that'll end up winding down the first quarter of action.
So the first quarter of action is done from the Little Apple. and we'll step aside for a quick intermission, and we'll come back with the second quarter of football from Manhattan, Kansas. We welcome you back in here to ASU football in the second quarter. Manhattan, Kansas, 1st and 15 due to that false start. It's Sam Levitt in the shotgun, two to his left, one to his right, Cam Scadaboo in the backfield. Going to be a handoff to Scadaboo, cuts through the tackles, and a pickup of 4 for Cameron Scadaboo. I don't think I've ever seen Cameron Scadaboo lose yardage on first down.
Yeah, it takes a mountain to stop him on first down.
They're going to say his knee came down on that original hit, so 2nd and 9, not that 4-yard pickup. It's a 10-play drive currently for Arizona State, taking about 6.5 minutes off the clock. Levitt going to fake a screen pass, fires downfield towards the end zone. It's Jordan Tyson for the touchdown. double up on the Tyson Levitt connection. It's 13-0 Sun Devils in Manhattan, Kansas. Jordan Tyson having himself a ball game for the Maroon and Gold, and a lot of frowns and very few smiles and a couple forks up in Manhattan, Kansas.
What a start for Arizona State. What a duo Tempe has on their hands with these two. Between Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson. Over the top ball, the confidence of a 19-year-old redshirt freshman to throw that pass into the end zone, and then the wherewithal from Tyson to make the grab, beat his man, keep a foot in bounds. What a start for the Sun Devils, and a 7-2 team that's been doubted by so many throughout this season is now up 14 on the road against the 16th ranked team in the nation, Ronan.
It's just fantastic, and everyone, especially after that Utah game, was very frustrated that this Arizona State Sun Devil team was not going to be ranked in that top 25, as Lewis puts the extra point through the uprights for Arizona State, 14-0. But now, especially with everything that's gone on in this Arizona State team, that Cincinnati loss, honestly, is what has kept them out of the top 25. And now Arizona State, with a win over the 20th best team in the country in Kansas State, knocking at the door. 14-0, 14-18 left in this second quarter. And through the first 4 games of this season, Jordan Tyson, 14 receptions, 209 yards, and a touchdown. Started off slower than a lot of Sun Devil fans had hoped, but he's been barreling through these last couple of games, has been the number one option by a large margin for this Arizona State team. And a very short kick fielded at the 22-yard line as Arizona State upfield, and Lewis going to get hit hard or deliver the hit. It was fair on the recovery. And great field position for Kansas State. The returner was Edwards, who kind of caught it as the up man. Not sure if that was the intended play to put it high and short for Kenny Dillingham, but regardless, it'll be great field position from Kansas State. And a couple of scores around the country. Missouri barely lost. The number 23 ranked team in the country got bested by South Carolina, 34-30. A tight game there, came down to the wire. South Carolina was able to punch it in with just about a minute left on the clock. So 14-12 left in this first half. Avery Johnson returns to the field. It's been a tough day for him and the rest of this Kansas State team. A little miscommunication, and they'll call a timeout. And Kenny Dillingham very frustrated with the way they were set up. A little miscommunication on that Arizona State sideline as Clayton Smith and Abney, two of the leaders of this Sun Devil defensive unit, echoing what Kenny Dillingham is saying. But with that, we'll take a short intermission, and we'll come back with the rest of this second quarter. We welcome you back in here to football from the Little Apple. It's Arizona State, 7-2, 4-2 in Big 12 play. Kansas State, the 16th ranked team in the country, 7-2, 4-2 in the Big 12, identical to Arizona State. Arizona State currently up 14-0, 14:05 remaining in this first half, and a questionable personal foul might get an ejection here from Arizona State. Was a late hit on the sideline on the opening play. It was Rouser coming across the formation and delivering the blow. It was a jet sweep, a little bit of a pitch off to Edwards, and Edwards looked hurt, and Rouser just delivered a blow right as he was stepping out of bounds. An unfortunate loss if Edwards is unable to return for K-State. And Johnson now in the shotgun. Pitch out to Giddens. Giddens rolling up field, turns, and a pickup of about 3 for the purple and silver. And Edwards looking like he's on his way to the medical tent. We saw it earlier in the Fordham game for those who were, extensive college football watchers or just had ESPN loaded. There was a pick 6 from Fordham where the original interception was then lateraled after a pulled hamstring down the sideline and was still returned for the 6 points. If you have time, look that one up. Crazy. Time of possession now double in favor of Arizona State, 10:37 to 5:57 of K-State as Avery Johnson in the shotgun delivers. It's going to be a fumble returned by Arizona State. He may have been down regardless. It was number 12 in the road white for Arizona State coming away with it. It was Raven Robinson, and Arizona State very confident that it's their football. The ruling on the field is a fumble. Brown caught it, and just as he's about to go down, perfectly executed punch there by Raven Robinson with the right hand, and he returned it for a couple yards, rolled up field, and got snagged at his own 38. So Sam Levitt and Cam Scadaboo will return to the field immediately. And we've talked about it so much, Ryan, on this broadcast. The issue for UCF, or against UCF rather, for Arizona State was the inability to keep their defense on the field. Well, now it's starting to look like the flip side. You got to get the offense a chance to rest.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, it's one of those situations where the defense is just going and generating these stops so quickly and viciously to get the fumble, the interception, a 3-and-out, and now ASU, the offense has the ball once again. The time of possession, like you mentioned, is doubled. This is the perfect situation to be in. And mind you, Arizona State gets the ball out of the half. So with 12 minutes left in this quarter, they're going to take plenty of time here knowing that they don't need to rush their drive. They can go through their motions, make sure they can run the ball like they did just now on first down, and do what they do to get time off the clock in order to get to halftime with the standable lead and knowing they're going to have the ball again in the third quarter.
And Sam Levitt was in the shotgun, handed it off to Cam Scadaboo, and Cam Scadaboo just ran through a guy's face. It was number 41 of the defensive unit for Kansas State. As Sam Levitt gets going here, dump off to Jordan Tyson, and he's going to move the chains well into K-State territory. Put down at the 43-yard line. And Levitt showing poise. There was a screen pass. It was a read option, and Jordan Tyson doing what he does best, yards after the catch, gets upfield. And Jordan Tyson, 4 receptions for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half, and there's still 11 minutes to go. Basically, virtually the first quarter.
Yeah.
Is Levitt now, play action, looking downfield. He's got the hot hand today for the Devils. Slides to the side, thrown over the top to Jordan Tyson, and nearly picked off. It was number 19, the VJ Payne, the junior safety out of Gainesville, Georgia. Nearly came away with it. The ball was just overthrown. Levitt was having to roll very far to his right. It was fantastic pressure off the far end from the linebacker, Travis Bates. And Tyson was blown up on the play there by VJ Payne. It came off the breastplate of Payne coming across. I didn't think he thought the ball was going to be an option for him on that play. Sam Levitt trips to his right, one to his left. It's going to be a dump off to Scadaboo out of the shotgun, and he'll barrel upfield, move the chain. Still rolling is Scadaboo down past the 30 and up to the 27-yard line of Kansas State. And Arizona State, just regardless of the mistakes, just keeping that confidence and continuing to roll forward with Cam Scadaboo. And Arizona State now going to spread the wealth. Scadaboo going to take a series off. And in behind Sam Levitt is going to be number 2 for Arizona State, Kyson Brown, who's fantastic in Scadaboo's absence. Going to be a pass out to the left-hand side to Guillory. Guillory going to work upfield and move the chains again. You can see Hines Ward, a Steelers legend. And now the wide receivers coach at Arizona State fired up for Guillory, who had that drop early.
And that's the most important thing. Hines Ward talked about being a motivator to his guys always, no matter the mistakes. And keeping your guys' confidence going is huge because you never know what play they're going to impact when you're going to need them the most. That's exactly what Hines Ward was saying over the week as well.
Arizona State has now 10 first downs with that one. Levitt in the pistol, going to try to throw the screen pass to Mateer. It's going to be batted away again off the right edge. Proven difficult for the Devils to hold back is Travis Bates. Texas kid out of Tomball, Texas, 6'3", 265, and about as quick as they come. Getting that right hand up and keeping the ball away from Mateer on the screen. And now Arizona State, 2nd and 10, 10-17 left. Kyson Brown out of the backfield. Levitt, same play, dump off to Mateer. They're going to try to get him. Mateer going to waltz untouched into that purple end zone of Arizona State, right in front of Sparky the Sun Devil, and in front of that Kansas State student section. Chamon Mateer fired up a 16-yard reception and just utter silence in the Little Apple from everyone wearing purple. The few wearing maroon and gold out there in Kansas fired up. 20-0 Arizona State, 10-10 left in the first half.
What a start. What a game for ASU, leading 21-0 over the number 16 Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan, Kansas. Ronan, another great play, well drawn up, X's and O's execution. Levitt taking his time on the screen, finding Mateer, who's bursting. He's quicker than he looks, right into the end zone for another touchdown. Everyone on this Arizona State team is playing exactly how they dreamt of playing before this game, and it's all smiles from the maroon and gold now. 21-0 the score row. Doesn't get any better than this if you're a Sun Devil.
Chamon Mateer, 6'4", 255, putting the Devils' drive on their back. It was 6 plays for 67 yards. 10 plays for 67 yards, 2 minutes and 47 seconds left, or taken off the clock rather. And you mentioned it, Ryan. Arizona State has become a master at the 8 minutes, and what I mean by that is those 4 minutes before the first half concludes and the 4 minutes after you get out of the locker room into that second half. It's a pretty cliche, but a very accurate saying is you win those 8 minutes, you're very likely to win the football game, and Arizona State has done a fantastic job in those 8 minutes throughout. But with that, we will step aside. Lewis puts it through, 21-0 Arizona State. And Kansas and Avery Johnson will get the ball back and attempt to right some wrongs before we get to halftime. 21-0 from the Little Apple of Manhattan, Kansas. It's Arizona State in front by 3 scores as they set back to kick it off the right foot of Lewis. And Arizona State hasn't had a college game day since October 1st of 2005. It was Lee Corso out there. Kirk Herbstreit, of course, as Lewis sets this one back. And now with the way things are shaping up, BYU in Tempe next weekend on Saturday. I'll be on the sideline for that. I'm sure, Ryan, you'll be up in the press box with Devil's Digest. Going to be an interesting game for sure. A lot of Sun Devil fans taking to Twitter, adding ESPN Game Day, saying, hey, guys, too late to change your mind, though they've made the decision earlier today that they will be going up for that Ohio State-Indiana game, which quite frankly, with the way Indiana's been playing, and of course the program that is Ohio State certainly isn't a bad option, but for the Sun Devil faithful, would love to see the boys, especially Pat McAfee and company, in Tempe, Arizona. And now it's going to be a handoff back to Giddens. Giddens going to run upfield, try to push the pile, and he's going to barrel up there just by sheer will for a 4-yard pickup, bring up 2nd and 6 with 9:55 left in this first half. And now, if you're Arizona State, you get the ball back. You deferred. Now there's 9 minutes left. A very awkward situation here for Kansas State and that coaching staff to be able to manage this clock and not allow Arizona State to have too much time left on the clock and possibly go up 4 scores before you get to halftime, getting the ball back.
Yeah. No, they got a lot of work to do. And Avery Johnson, a very talented quarterback, somebody that can make plays and can get it done.
Avery Johnson was in the shotgun over the middle. It's going to be caught by the tight end, Garrett Oakley, who's been a favorite of Johnson tonight. And not just tonight, throughout the season, Oakley's been fantastic. The sophomore, one of those key young pieces, 6'5", 240. Avery Johnson now back in the shotgun, 1st and 10, 2 to his left, 2 to his right. Going to be a play action, going to fire up downfield, and wide open is number 19 for K-State, 10-5 touchdown. And it's shot out of a cannon is Garrett Harstead, the redshirt freshman. We saw him caught a ball earlier out of Loveland, Colorado, the 6'4", 230 tight end flying upfield, but there's a flag in the backfield. And just a moment of silence there, and it's an illegal man downfield on the offense, so that play's coming back. Arizona State will take a short breath. Burn down the sideline was a shocking Keith Abney, is what it appears. In the shotgun, it's going to be on number 56. And it was Andrew Langang. Excuse me, it wasn't Abney, it was Rouser. Still another guy you don't see get beat like that very often down the hash. And in the pistol now is Johnson. 1st and 15 now from their own 32. Just got the wind out of their sails taken out and blown up in the backfield is Giddens. And coming away with the tackle there is number 95, Justin Watley. The 6'2", 270 redshirt junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. Was a Cincinnati transfer, lost to his former team earlier in the season. And Arizona State got bailed, quite frankly, on that one. Very fortunate. And now Arizona State going to bring 4 here. It's Avery Johnson, one who was left, one who was right. Going to put the one on the left in motion. Going to look downfield, fires a long one again, and Rouser beat again, just well overthrown. The pass was intended for number 8, Ty Bowman, the senior. Local kid out of Chinook, Kansas. And just too much on that one. Too much mustard from Avery Johnson. Landed about 5 yards ahead of his intended target. And Bowman spent all 4 years at Kansas State. We get a look at Brian Ward up in the box. The defensive coordinator for Arizona State. Definitely happy that last play call got called back.
Yeah, he's had an incredible day today, hasn't he, so far?
3rd and 16, 4 seconds left on the play clock. And Johnson going to heave it up to the side. He was almost down to the ground. It's Giddens now rolling upfield, going to move the chains, and Arizona State is going to collect them just past into their own territory. Giddens, very fortunate there. Avery Johnson nearly came. It was almost a heave, like a push pass, or a chest pass, rather, in basketball with two hands. It wasn't the necessary spiral you look for in college football, or football at all for that matter. Handoff to Giddens, going to be blown up in the backfield. It was a sea of devils back there. Clayton Smith, Shamari Simmons, and Crook as well.
Yeah. What an interesting drive that we're witnessing right now, Ronan. The back and forth emotions for Kansas State and ASU of kind of having to refocus. If you're ASU, okay, you kind of understand that, hey, you're up, you're playing great, but this is still a number 16 team in the country for a reason. You got to stay locked in and dialed into every play.
2nd and 12. Avery Johnson, backdoor fade. Is going to be caught by number 8 again. That's Ty Bowman, who was just missed over the top a couple of plays ago. And Keith Abney frustrated with that one. Looks like a blown coverage there on the zone. Wasn't in the right spot down in the nickel. And 3rd and 1, 6:30 remaining in this first half. Kansas State doing a good job of managing the clock. We talked about it already a couple times, but if you're just joining us, Arizona State does get the ball back at the conclusion of halftime. Johnson now in the shotgun, going to heave over the middle to Oakley. Oakley's going to barrel upfield, and he's going to get blown up there by Xavier Alford. Alford lowered the shoulder on a much bigger Oakley over the top. And Arizona State starting to give some ground here to K-State. I think it's more so that Avery Johnson and this K-State offense is starting to find their main focus. 8 plays, 51 yards, 4:15 on this current drive. 5:52 remaining in this first half. And Avery Johnson play actually going to heave it over to Bowman again, and Bowman going to be wrapped up almost immediately there by Javen Robinson. It'll be a 5-yard pickup, says the spot, due to forward progress. So spring up 2nd and 5. K-State still rolling. And Arizona State needs to bend and not break here. Certainly wouldn't mind a field goal.
Yeah, necessary point of emphasis drive for Kansas State. If you're ASU, it's all about containing.
On the 19-yard line now, Johnson over the top, and blown up is Lofton. And Lofton, fortunate enough to come away with that football up the right hash. Rouser was there to deliver the blow. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on to that football. It was Lofton out of the backfield on the wheel route. Came up the right hash, just right in the middle, and Rouser nearly met the ball. It was a fantastic throw there by Avery Johnson, and maybe an even better catch. 1st and goal now from the 5-yard line. Loaded backfield again. And Johnson going to take it himself on the read option. He's going to get upfield and pick up 1. Nearly a sack there from Rouser. And Rouser, again, the lead tackler for Arizona State. He's been all over the field on this drive. So bring up 2nd and goal from the 4th. And here, if you're Arizona State, of course you want to keep him out of the end zone, but you do like the 4 to 3 minute range.
Especially with the 2-minute timeout. You're in an interesting spot now, but if you're ASU, all about trying to make them burn as much clock as possible regardless of the outcome of this drive.
And Arizona State burned 2 timeouts due to miscommunication in the first quarter, so they only have 1 left. As Johnson now going to look to his left, going to fire over the top, and it's going to be broken up there by number 2, Xavier Alford, for the Arizona State Sun Devils, getting that maroon glove up to the top of the ball. Nearly came away with it had the bounce stayed in bounds.
Yeah, great coverage there by Javon Robinson, getting a hand to it, forcing Oakley to have nowhere to go but out of bounds. And that time he just forced his man to drop that pass on a huge 2nd and goal play.
3rd and goal now. Loaded backfield again. It's going to be a play action. Johnson's going to take it himself on that same read option, and he's just swarmed by Arizona State. It was number 22, Caleb McCullough, for the first time tonight, being the lead tackler for Arizona State, will bring up 4th and goal. And a decision now to be made for K-State. Looks like the field goal unit's coming out. Maybe a little bit of lack of confidence there from the purple and silver. And McCullough was just all over that one from the middle of the formation of that linebacker core of Arizona State. So 3:10 left now to kick the first points for K-State here. It's going to be the senior kicker, Chris Tennant. And it's going to be a fake off the outside, and Arizona State was there. It was a bizarre kicking choice, and Kenny Dillingham had that read, and you could see some boos echoing from the crowd.
What an attempt. It wasn't even faked.
It wasn't even a fake. We apologize. Even the TV camera wasn't set up for the snap. The hold was blown. And K-State was trying to settle for 3 points, get their first points on the board, and now Arizona State will get the football with just under 4 minutes to play, leading 21-0 and getting the ball back to start the second half. Arizona State sitting so pretty from the Little Apple. We'll take a quick break here and come back with the rest of the first half. Absolutely nothing going right for the Kansas State Wildcats and everything going right for the Arizona State Sun Devils as they take over from their own 15-yard line off a botched field goal attempt. The hold was awful. Almost looked like a fake when they just cut to it. And Cam Scadaboo going to roll upfield for a 4-yard pickup to start the drive. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in this first half. Arizona State's first 4 drives, 3 of them ended in touchdowns. And, of course, that one 3-and-out that they started on the opposing 47 of Kansas State. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining now. Running clock. 15 left on the play clock. It's 2nd and 6. Hand off to Scadaboo. Scadaboo going to roll upfield, pick up a 5, bring up 3rd and 1. And Arizona State going to have to put the pieces together on this one. Would definitely like to get one off before the 2-minute timeout.
And that's the biggest key about this, Ronan, is the fact that you have an offense with a running back who could just casually go through the motions of 4 yards here, 5 yards there. And, people might look at them on the TV screen as very mundane plays or plays that might not have much impact on the game. But when you're picking up over 3.5 to 4 yards in every single carry, the defense has to do so much in order to prevent you from rushing and doing that again and again and again. It creates this unstoppable situation for them, and the offense is expanding so much more, gaining great traction, and obviously scoring a lot because of it.
And certainly sets up Jordan Tyson and Shimon Mateer over the top when you have a running back that's going to be able to not just run through the outside, but right through the tackles and pick up, like you said, 4 to 5 yards pretty much every time he touches the football, does Cam Skattebo. And now for Arizona State, they elected to not run a play before the 2-minute timeout. So just 2 minutes left, 1 timeout for Arizona State. They burned the first 2 due to miscommunications in that first quarter. And Arizona State looking to play conservative, not trying to rush anything. You certainly have more to lose than you have to gain by rushing the football at this point. Not literally, but figuratively. And now Arizona State, we talked about it again and again, dominant in the 8 minutes. The last 4 of the first half, the first 4 of the second half. And now Arizona State looking to do it again. Going into UCF, it was certainly a fact, but after UCF, even more so, they were able to dominate those 8 minutes. And after a slow start from Sam Levitt with no Cam Skattebo, it was Kyson Brown behind him, as well as DeCarlos Brooks and Raleek Brown. After that slow start, Arizona State was able to put the pieces together in those 8 minutes and really pull ahead of the Knights, and Candy Dillingham was able to knock off his mentor at home.
Yeah, really key moment for ASU, and being able to win in these moments and these middle eight portions, it creates momentum swing so much. And you seeing this one, you get not only a stop on 3rd and goal, but then to have a botched field goal attempt where the opposing team doesn't even get any points on the board. It's as bad as it could get for Kansas State. And then if you're ASU, you can use that to your advantage. You have 2 minutes left to go with the ball, with 1 timeout in the opposing team's area, with so much in your way in the driver's seat, and they can really make the most of this next situation over the next 2 minutes, and then getting the ball back out of halftime, worthy to take a shot or two. I mean, it does not get any better if you're Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham. It's been an amazing start to this game, and it's been an entire team effort, both sides of the ball. The defense has done a great job of being efficient, getting stops, forcing 2 turnovers in this first half. The offense as well has done an amazing job of scoring and being good with their drives. You mentioned having the time of a possession, and they're doing that as well. A really great half for ASU on both sides. An amazing performance in this first half.
And Arizona State still up 3 scores. As just a few moments away is halftime. The Mercedes-Benz halftime report will be on, of course. We'll step aside.
Sorry to cut you off, Rosie. No former ASU legend Matt Berry throwing the forks up in this one. I know he's pleased watching this one. He'll have a good time in studio at halftime as well.
And Arizona State going to hand it off to Cameron Skattebo on 3rd and 1, and he'll just jut up field for a pickup of 2. So it'll be a first down for Arizona State. Stop the clock at 1:53. And honestly, the beauty of college football is that first down stopping the clock. I don't know about you, Ryan. I just absolutely love it. Wish the NFL would introduce it. I just think at the next level, guys like Jared Goff, Tom Brady, those elite game managers would have a field day. Certainly would add a new layer to the NFL.
Be an impossible stop.
Would be an impossible stop, for sure. That's definitely why it doesn't exist. Got a K-State player a little knocked up on the play. It's going to be the junior cornerback, Jacob Parrish, another native out of Olathe, Kansas. So in the shotgun now is Levitt. 2 to his right, 2 to his left. It's Cam Skattebo in the backfield. Going to fire over the middle. It's caught by number 0, Jordan Tyson. Who else? He's a little shaken up on the sideline, that K-State sideline, but he got upfield. He'll move the chains, got out of bounds regardless, and he was smashed over the top by number 19 in the purple and silver. VJ Payne again. It's been the matchup we're watching all night. VJ Payne almost had that interception a couple of drives ago, but Jordan Tyson getting the better of him with 2 touchdowns. And this is Sam Levitt's first game with 3 TDs or more. As he'll dump it off to Cameron Scadaboo, he'll jut out of bounds. 1:32 remaining, pickup of 5 for Arizona State.
It's funny watching this play calling, Ronan. It seems as though ASU's not even that focused on staying in bounds or not and draining clock or not. They said, hey, we had momentum. We're the team that's playing well. Let's go and score this ball when we can with a minute and a half to go in the first half.
Levitt, 10 of 17 tonight in the pistol. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Going to look upfield. We've seen him show up the R talent a bit tonight, and he'll just throw this one away. It was almost caught, actually, by Jordan Tyson, but well without a bounds. And Jordan Tyson jawing back and forth with some of the players on that K-State sideline.
And, you know, credit to the offensive line for their performance in this matchup and the way they've given Levitt a lot of time and space, opening up gaps for Scadaboo to get on the ground and get a full head of steam in order to get these 4 or 5 yard pickups. They're really the engine of this offense and what makes it move consistently. They're doing a great job today against a really ferocious Kansas State defensive line.
Levitt going to bring Stovall into the formation. Looking. Going to fire over to Scadaboo on the screen pass. Gets a block from Stovall. Barreling through is Cam Scadaboo, and he's still got room into field goal range. Is number 4 in the road white for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Cam Scadaboo, have yourself a day. And this is why I think NFL scouts are going to take a chance on a guy like Cam Scadaboo barreling upfield right after, just not afraid of contact and not a one-dimensional player either. A guy who's so good between the tackles, you wouldn't expect him to be able to get outside of the formation, catch passes, and do what he does after the catch. And Scadaboo going to take the series off, a little bit shaken up there as Kyson Brown returns. Scadaboo still nursing that shoulder injury from 2 weekends ago, And Sam Levitt now in the pistol, takes the snap, rolling to his right, got to throw it away. There was nobody home for Arizona State. 44 seconds left in this first half. Bring up 2nd and 10 for the Sun Devils.
And talking about Cameron Scadaboo, Ronan, that's exactly what he wanted to get better at this offseason, something that him and Coach Dillingham had talked about for a lot of the time in between the 2023-2024 seasons, is getting in better shape, being quicker between the lines, being great with your hands and being able to catch an open space. All those little things make you a much more draftable prospect for these NFL teams that maybe want to take a chance on you, and he's really showing what he can do this season and proving a lot of scouts wrong and hopefully drawing a lot of attention to his draft stock.
And Sam Levitt on the blitz. It was Jordan Tyson over the middle of the field, and that will move the chain. So a quick 6-second play as Arizona State keeps the clock stopped, and they'll move the chains. There was a little bit of a confusion there. The clock is still running. However, it was a first down. So Sam Levitt now. Blitz brought again from K-State. Sam Levitt just going to fire that one well out of bounds. Bring up 22 seconds left in this first half. BYU plays Kansas tonight at 10:15. A Kansas victory over BYU would be fantastic for Arizona State. BYU nearly dropped one to Utah last weekend in a nail-biter up there. And 22 seconds left now here in Manhattan, Kansas. Levitt trips to his right, 1 to his left. He's got Kyson Brown in the shotgun with him. Jordan Tyson goes for the screen pass. Levitt going to look upfield, going to have to roll back to his left. Stepping up in the pocket, Sam Levitt still moving, and he's going to be sacked. Arizona State likely to take their last charge timeout. After letting the clock roll out, of course, they'll hold for a field goal. And Kenny Dillingham will take the timeout with 6 seconds left on the play clock. We'll bring up Lewis to put one between the pipes. Will be about a 36-yarder, if my math suits me. Again, a journalism major, so not the best at math. However, Mateer is down. Unfortunate loss for the Sun Devils. He caught that 16-yard touchdown reception to put the Sun Devils ahead. We'll bring up 3rd and 15. Shimon Mateer, 6'4", 255, a North Miami, Florida product. And ASU will take its final timeout. And Kenny Dillingham, I think, asking why the clock ran after that Jordan Tyson first down. Not the best lip reader in the world, am I? But he did say, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
So I'm sure there was a justification. Myers, you're more of a football guy than I am.
Yeah, it seems to be in that situation. Obviously, it might have been a delayed call on the timeout. Maybe they didn't stop the clock as so quickly as they should have. I don't actually understand why they wouldn't have had a proper timeout there. As we got a little bit of a flashback with the field goal units, and we see it's going to be Karsten Kiefer taking this one. Very exciting. A lot of drama around field goal kicking amongst his team. The one of the younger kickers on the roster, a freshman, a redshirt freshman on the team. We'll see if he can make the most of his 50-yard attempt.
So a 50-yarder now, 3 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to be a fake. It's a flea flicker up the sideline, and Lewis is going to roll out to the side. I guess they weren't confident he had the leg to get it up the 50 yards. Kenny Dillingham getting the boys fired up. It was Kiefer who caught the flip as he rolled out to the side. And Arizona State, with their largest halftime lead since versus a ranked team, since 2014, when they were up on a 10th ranked Notre Dame lineup in Arizona State. The buzz around Tempe, Arizona has been there for a while. The buzz has continued in Manhattan, Kansas, and we'll step aside for halftime, and we'll come back with the second half of this one between the Arizona State Sun Devils and the Kansas State Wildcats. We welcome you back in here to football from the Blaze Radio bunker. Ronan Heykoop, Ryan Myers, Arizona State, Kansas State. The Sun Devils currently up 21-0 over the Wildcats as the first play of the drive is a handoff to Cam Scadaboo. He bumps outside the left edge, maybe a pickup of 1 or 2. Knee might have been down right past the line of scrimmage. And it will be a 2-yard pickup, so 2nd and 8 for Arizona State. 14:30 left in the third quarter.
Huge part of the game, Ronan. Arizona State trying to win that middle eight. Coming out of halftime, can they make the most of this first drive to begin the second half of action?
So now Arizona State in the shotgun with Sam Levitt. Going to hand off to Cam Scadaboo, and he's going to get caught before the line of scrimmage. Arizona State looking a little flat coming out of the locker room. We talked about those key 8 minutes of action at the conclusion of the first half and the beginning of the second are so important in winning a football game, and that's been Arizona State's bread and butter. They faked a 50-yard field goal with 6 seconds left in the first half if you're just joining us. Now 3rd and 9 here with 13-14 left in the third quarter. K-State showing some life on the sideline and around the ground. And now Sam Levitt in the shotgun, going to look upfield, looking at Tyson, going to fire over the middle to Tyson. Tyson going to roll upfield, 40, 50, getting up into Kansas State territory, down to the 33-yard line of Kansas State. And that's how you bail yourself out, back against the wall. Sam Levitt, the connection to Jordan Tyson, he's over 100 yards today for sure.
When in doubt, Jordan Tyson, your way out. Sam Levitt finding his boy over the middle, and Tyson does the rest. Beats the first defender with some smooth footwork, a slip on the play, frees him up for a massive gain on 3rd down. And once again, Arizona State getting out of a jam, picking up a huge gain, and showing why they're up 21 points in this matchup.
And bring up 2nd and 3rd now. As Arizona State runs a play there. Apologies, a little Wi-Fi issues on our end. And Sam Levitt now in the pistol. 2 to his left, 1 to his right. Mateer in the formation is the tight end. He's going to hand it off to Brown. Brown will barrel up a pickup of 2. Bring up 3rd and 1 deep into K-State territory.
Yeah, big play there from Kyson Brown to get 9 rushing yards, give Scadaboo a little bit of a break. He did an admirable job in the UCF game, getting 77 yards on the ground for himself. A very quality young sophomore back who's growing and getting better and better through each game.
And Sam Levitt now in the shotgun, takes Scadaboo from the left side to the right, trips to Levitt's right. It's going to be a pre-snap penalty. LaFontaine is on the ground. Looks like it might be a false start, a pre-snap penalty against Arizona State.
They called it against number 58, Max.
It was the right tackle trying to get a little bit of a head start across the formation. It was number 58, Max Ihanachor. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 deep in their K-State end, for Arizona State. 11:20 remaining in this third quarter. And Levitt now in the shotgun, 1 to his left, 2 to his right. Levitt looking downfield, fires over the top. It's intercepted. Oh, no, Interceded was the word I was looking for, not intercepted. It was Xavier Guillory just pushed out of bounds. It was number 10 of Kansas State making the pass breakup down the corner. It was Jacob Parrish again. And Guillory did get a right hand on it. Would have been an impossible catch. And I guess in theory was, as we'll bring up another field goal attempt for Arizona State, a 47-yarder. They faked the last one, and now it's Lewis back to kick. And Lewis up and away, coming down. It's got the distance, and it's good. For all the woes Arizona State has had, they switched the kicker and brought Lewis back in, who's normally just the kickoff man. It'll bring up 27-0 for Arizona State, able to capitalize on the deferred kick and secure another 3 points. So Arizona State now up 4 scores on K-State, the 16th best team in the country, according to the College Football AP poll. So we will step aside with that 21-0 in favor of the Sun Devils. We welcome you back in here to football from Kansas State, Manhattan, Kansas specifically. And the Arizona State Sun Devils up 27-0 over their Big 12 Wildcat counterparts. And now the way things are looking, Bill Snyder in the building, the Kansas State head coach from 1989 to 2005, then came back from 2008 to 2019, shared a lot of success with the K-State Wildcats, and the returner now, number 23 for the purple and silver. Bowling up there is number 23, like I just said, Devin Rice, the true freshman out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 5'4", 180. Gets a nice pickup pass touchdown range for K-State. And not a lot of buzz around the arena there in Manhattan. The Little Apple, certainly the lights are not shining too bright. But this team trying their best to keep it going. It's now 24-0 in favor of the Arizona State Sun Devils. In the shotgun now is Avery Johnson trying to feed some life into this K-State squad. Play action, looking over the top, fires deep field. And going to be well past number 1. That was Jace Brown trying to get up there, the Fort Walton Beach, Florida native. And K-State is averaging 31 points per game, 208 rushing yards, and 214 passing yards. They have 0, 28, and 80 tonight, respectively. Not a good night offensively for K-State at all. And now Avery Johnson in the pistol, 2 to his left, 2 in the formation of the tight ends. And bowling upfield, it's going to be Giddens again. He's been quiet tonight. An 8-yard pickup, bring up 3rd and 2. And we talked about it. You mentioned it certainly in that first quarter, Ryan. Been the real knock on this K-State offense is their ability to convert on 3rd down. They're going to say Giddens' knee was down a yard short of the original spot, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, dangerous situation for them to be in. Obviously not a bad spot, 3rd and 3, but who knows? Arizona State's been great in these situations throughout the course of this matchup.
And Avery Johnson now in the shotgun, going to take the snap, going to fire downfield. You had a feeling they were going to take a shot there. And just a poor throw at the feet of Brown. He had Keith Abney beat on the far side. So that will bring up 4th and 3, and the punt crew for the purple and silver. You'd think at this point for K-State in the middle of the field, you got to start finding something out of nothing. At what point do you start going for it in those 4th and short situations? You are in your own end. You're at the 40-yard line, but Arizona State has proven they can kind of score wherever they want to. It's going to be fielded from Arizona State. It was Stovall bowling upfield, and it will be a short pickup for him. Made it up to about the 19-yard line of Arizona State. And with that, we will take a short intermission here, and we'll come back with the rest of this 3rd quarter here from the Little Apple. Arizona State still up 24-0 as they get the ball back deep in their own end, courtesy of a punt from K-State. Sam Levitt balling today, 13 of 24, 197, 3 TDs, no interceptions. Scadaboo, 13 rushes, 48 yards. He's averaging 3.7 yards a carry. And then Jordan Tyson just having himself a day, 2 touchdowns already and nearly 100 yards on the day. 9:57 remaining in this third quarter as Arizona State gets the ball back. Loaded backfield for Arizona State, 2 to the right of the formation, and Guillory and Tyson. Going to be a play action. Going to look over the top is Levitt. He's going to deliver the pass over the top and almost snagged by Xavier Guillory with an outstretched right hand. Would have been a highlight play, a SportsCenter top 10 play, mind you, if he was able to come away with that. It was Jacob Parrish on the PBU for the Wildcats. And 9:44 remaining in this third quarter for the Arizona State Sun Devils, 2nd and 10. Trips to Levitt's left, one to the right. It's going to be a handoff to Scadaboo, and he's going to get the front door shut on him. A pickup of 1 for the Sac State product. We'll bring up 3rd and 9. Scadaboo enjoying his second season in Tempe. A lot more buzz than that first year. So running clock, 9:21 now in the third quarter. Cameron Scadaboo going to take this series off, bring in Kyson Brown. Arizona State is 7 for 10 on third downs this evening. Got 3rd and long to bring up now. Levitt, 2 to his right, 2 to his left. In the backfield is Brown. Going to be a dump off to Brown over the middle at the left hash, and he's going to make a move upfield. Just danced around a Kansas State linebacker. That was number 41 in the silver and purple. Austin Moore, a veteran and a captain on this team. The senior out of Lewisburg, Kansas. Been at Kansas State all 4 years of his collegiate career. And moving the chains again, now 8 for 11 on first downs. Or third downs, excuse me. Going to be a handoff to Brown again. Going to bounce outside. This is Arizona State's 17th first down. And a Kansas State Wildcat shaking up on the play, trying to wrap up Kyson Brown. They got him at the line of scrimmage, bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that's the big key, Ronan, for ASU is keeping things simple while ahead. You see them looking, hey, we're on a 3rd and 9 situations in a tough spot in their own half. Let's keep it simple. Find Kyson Brown on a little route that they practice every single day, and they run a lot of games, freeing up a lot of space ahead of them with deep route runners going downfield. And, for Levitt, it's, hey, why take this deep shot when I got a really trustful running back ahead of me that could catch this ball for 7 and get another 7 for it right after the fact. Smart move by ASU and good heads-up play by the number 10 QB.
And Levitt now 2 to his left, 1 to his right. It was Austin Moore shaking up, nursing that elbow. He got to the sideline on his own accord. Play action. Now Levitt firing downfield right into the arms of an awaiting Jordan Tyson. How many times have we seen that tonight? A slant over the top, and that will move the chains for Arizona State. 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Just the way he's able to gets around Payne, who is sitting on the nickel, and just a fantastic piece of route running and a great catch, and maybe an even better ball from Sam Levitt. Jordan Tyson limping off the field. He seems to be knocked up just slightly. I can almost guarantee you he will return to this game. A tough guy, as tough as they come, is Jordan Tyson. 7:30, 18 seconds left on the play clock. Arizona State now in the shotgun. 2 to Levitt's right. And Scadaboo now working upfield. Bounce around a tackler, and he's going to get brought down. A pickup of 2 for Cameron Scadaboo. And the Scat attack is in full force tonight. Hasn't made it into the end zone quite yet tonight. I'm sure it's coming for Cameron Scadaboo.
Yeah, really admirable performance for a player that missed so much time. Or just missed a game last week due to a shoulder injury, getting back in here, playing fearless, bumping and bruising per usual, and picking up big gains.
And Levitt takes a snap. Screen pass over to Scadaboo. Scadaboo going to cut up field, just run over a safety. And that was number 6. Jordan Riley just got his face blown up by Cameron Scadaboo. Just lowering the shoulder, just so strong. That center of gravity is so low. You just can't meet him. They say the lowest man normally wins the bout. And for that one, Cameron Scadaboo was certainly the lowest to the ground. Kyson Brown now going to work up field. Pickup of about 6. So bring up 2nd and 4. Almost into field goal range is Arizona State.
Just amazing to see a player with his fearlessness, Ronan, and having a guy who, in Cam Scadaboo, can go out with a nasty shoulder injury and then 2 weeks later, fearless and lowering his shoulder, running right through players. You talk to LaTerrence Welsh, one of the defensive backs for this team, and he raves on about having a guy like Scadaboo on the team and a guy that players in other opposing squads cannot prepare for because of how physically imposing he really is when you get him in between the lines.
2 to the right, to the left of Levitt. Going to be a dump off to Tyson on the play action. Tyson still up forward. Almost lost the football. He did. And K-State might come away with this one. As good of a night as Jordan Tyson's having. He lost the ball, got spun around by Stufflebean. In a sea of purple, Jordan Tyson running off the field, taking his helmet off in frustration. And that's K-State ball. A late miscue in the game, the first for Arizona State. And though a little bit of wind in the sails for K-State now, 5:15 left in the third quarter. Tyson just got it punched out there. It was Lofton, and Stufflebean jumped on it. And an unfortunate turn of events there for Arizona State. So we will step aside now for a quick intermission and come back with the rest of this third quarter. Arizona State 24, Kansas State nothing. The purple and silver got some wind in their sails from Manhattan, Kansas. It's Arizona State, Kansas State 24-0 from the Blaze Radio Bunker in Tempe, Arizona. It's Ronan Heykoop and Ryan Myers. Arizona State up 4 scores, 5:15 left in this third quarter. K-State going to start their next drive off with a handoff to Giddens right up the gut. Pickup of about 4. A flag comes well after the whistle. There is a Sun Devil player down holding the back of his head. Not sure what the call is. I can't see the down Devils. We remind you we're not in Manhattan, Kansas. Unfortunately, couldn't make the trip out.
Yeah, it's never fun to see. Hopefully the injured player's okay. I think it might have been Justin Watley, the defensive tackle.
It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the defense of Arizona State. Interesting to see the call here. We'll definitely need a replay to see. It was after the play.
Mm-hmm.
It was number 5, Jeff Clark. Yeah, you can't do that, unfortunately. Jeff Clark looked like an offensive lineman. A K-State had a handful of his face mask, and Jeff Clark threw his right hand up. And it's going to be Wootley on the ground for Arizona State. Number 95, Justin Watley. Apologies. 6'2", 270, been a dominant force for Arizona State tonight and throughout this regular season. With 5:06 left in this third quarter, Watley going to get up, assisted, walking on his own accord, putting equal weight across. The junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's being helped by 2 members of the training staff as well as one of the coaches for Arizona State.
Yeah, he's a real warrior for them as well, Ronan, a guy that is pretty fierce on the defensive line, and he loves making the big plays, a guy you love to have out on the field when you get the chance to. Hopefully he's okay and he'll have a chance to recover.
Arizona State has committed 4 penalties for 40 yards. The only stat K-State probably leads Arizona State tonight with just 2 penalties for 13 yards. As a handoff to Giddens now upfield into Arizona State territory and just dragged down. It was number 2, Xavier Alford, and Zeros Fiaseso coming across the formation to make the tackle. And that's the Giddens we're used to seeing from K-State. Excuse me, it was not Fiaseso. It was Clayton Smith coming all the way back from the formation. Not 30, it was 10. The defensive end out of the University of Oklahoma, his second year in the maroon and gold. Avery Johnson going to look downfield on the play action. Almost picked off. It was Xavier Alford with the PBU coming across the field. A fantastic athletic play. Pass was intended for Brown over the top, and Avery Bradley, frustrated on that one, nearly had himself the first touchdown of the night. And Arizona State, again, needs to bend, not break. I'll remind you of that 4th and goal opportunity for K-State. They missed the field goal on a botched hold. They're currently on the 32-yard line, just inside field goal range. 4:19 now remaining in the third quarter. Avery Johnson going to take it himself on the RPO, and Fiaseso going to escort Johnson out of bounds pretty heavily, as Johnson will hit that white turf of the sideline. Still 24-0 here in the Little Apple. 4:01 remaining. Avery Johnson tonight, 9 of 17, 80 yards, and 1 interception thrown. That one in the first minute of play. Xavier Alford was able to collect that one that led to the opening score, that Sam Levitt to Jordan Tyson connection. 3:45 remaining in this third quarter. 3rd and 7 now. Shotgun. Handoff to Giddens. Giddens going to move the chains and burst up field. It's a pickup of 21 for Giddens. And Arizona State having no answer for the run game now, as Avery Johnson in this purple and silver K-State Wildcat offensive unit is getting rolling here. Xavier Alford able to stay in front, make the initial tackle. He was helped out by Miles Ghost Rouser across. Bring up 1st and goal now. And it was an excellent block on the inside from Portier of that K-State. That right guard has been so great for this K-State offensive line all season. And now in the shotgun, Avery Johnson, 2 to his left. Loaded Going to take it himself on the read option play, and he'll dance into the purple turf for a K-State touchdown, their first score of the night. So 24-6 on a 10-yard rushing touchdown from Avery Johnson. And the Wildcat fans in Manhattan, Kansas have a little bit to cheer for here. Certainly nowhere near over. 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. And just a beautifully drawn up play, just a straight read option. And Avery Johnson going to take it himself, got the men upfield, got the blockers. It was number 75 out of the offensive line for K-State, Sam Heck, the junior out of Suwanee, Kansas, the 6'4", 290-pound guy making it happen for Avery Johnson upfield. Now in the shotgun, they're going to go for two. And it will be a timeout from Kenny Dillingham and crew. Didn't like what he was seeing as Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, a great drive there from Kansas State, really working the ground game a lot. We talked about the comparisons that Brian Ward made between Avery Johnson and Lamar Jackson. We saw that burst of speed right there out of the backfield and getting into the end zone with ease for the first touchdown of the game for the Wildcats. That was a better drive from them for sure. Ronan did a good job of working the offense in different ways, finding Giddens and allowing him to get space. He's fourth in the entire Big 12 conference in total yards, and seeing him be able to get on the ground consistently now is something that we're not surprised by at all.
And Brock Osweiler, ASU legend, on the call for this one. Sitting next to Dave Fleming, another fantastic commentator for ESPN. Arizona State, of course, moved over to ESPN with their introduction to the Big 12 championship. 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. 24 seconds left on the play clock as Avery Johnson gets the offense set. Another two-point attempt here in the shotgun. Going to read option, pitch outs front to Giddens, and it's a fumble. Popped up immediately as Giddens came away with it, and it was recovered by number 32 of the defensive unit for Arizona State. Prince Dorba came away with that one. Unfortunately for Arizona State, does not get rid of that 10-yard rush prior from Johnson, but certainly keeps 2 points off the board. So 24-6 your score here. It was McCullough with the initial hit. Dorba with the initial hit. McCullough was the one who came away with the football. Still 2:51 remaining in this third quarter, 24-6. Arizona State up 18 points on the number 16 team in the nation. As we get a look here at a great SEC matchup in Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee currently up 3 points as of right now. The 8-1 Vols making the name for themselves in the SEC this season. And a little bit of an issue up there in Wisconsin now, up 4 points on Oregon, the number one ranked team in the country. The Big Ten, about as difficult as a conference can come in college football. But the SEC, pretty much the only conference that gets a shout ahead of them. And the Big Ten obviously adding two very stout programs in Oregon and Washington. Of course, the perennials, the Ohios, the Wisconsins, the Penn States of the world have been fantastic this season. And Wisconsin looking to steal one away. $20 left now on the play clock as Sam Levitt gets the seventh drive for Arizona State rolling. Levitt, two to his right, one to his left in the pistol. Handoff to Scadaboo, going to cut upfield right through the tackles. He's still running, somehow still is Cam Scadaboo, and he'll move the chains, with 2:40 and running left on the clock.
Well, Ronan, he cannot be stopped, can he, today? Cam Scadaboo doing everything he can to regain momentum for his side at this point. Somehow, some way staying up. He's had himself a really good comeback game after missing one with injury last week against UCF.
Cam Scadaboo going to take the series off. It's Kyson Brown now. Two to the right of Levitt, one to the left. Levitt going to look to his left, going to fire over the top. And Jordan Tyson just not on the same page as Sam Levitt. 24-6 the score from the Little Apple. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. Arizona State 2nd and 10 in their own end. Sam Levitt with 17 seconds left on the play clock. Kenny Dillingham. Little energy out of that Sun Devil sideline that was so high in the first half. Levitt now in the shotgun. Trips to his left, one to the right. Going to get a handoff to Brown. Brown trying to bust through the tackles. Goes nowhere. So we'll bring up 3rd and 10, maybe 3rd and 11 for Kyson Brown. With 3:52 remaining, Cam Scadaboo will come back into the game. Kyson Brown will head back to Kenny Dillingham on the sideline.
It's a huge play for ASU momentum-wise, Ronan. They got to make sure they can continue to ride some of that momentum they had in the first half. There's a lot of time left in this game, and you don't want to give Kansas State the opportunity to get the ball back and maybe get a chance to score without even giving them a valiant response.
1:25 remaining in this third quarter. Sam Levitt, 4 of 6 on 3rd down, 78 yards, 1 TD, and 3 first downs as he's going to roll over to his side, going to fire over, and he's going to get it. It was number 6 of Arizona State, number 5. It was Stovall coming across and catches it just on the touch line. Guess sideline. We're not playing soccer, Ronan. Different type of football. Rising Radio always comes out on the call, doesn't it?
Missing Rising Radio right now as well as their season ends. But more importantly, what a pass from Levitt, evading all the blitz coming from Kansas State. But when you show blitz, that means somebody's probably open downfield, and Stovall made the most of his first catch of the game, grabbing that one for the outside for the first down.
Levitt is 18 of 31 as he pitches it to his right to Scadaboo, who's met at the line of scrimmage by a sea of purple. 25 seconds left remaining in this third quarter. 2nd and 10 as the Devils continue to take time away from Kansas State. At this point, is more important to manage the game than it is to maybe get a couple points on the board for Arizona State. Did yourself a lot of work in that first half. Have not scored in this third quarter as they are more than happy to let the third quarter come to a close. So with that, we will step aside for a quick intermission here, and we'll come back with the last quarter of football from Manhattan, Kansas. 24-6 in favor of the Devils over the Prairie Wildcats. K-State down a few scores now to Arizona State. Arizona State with the ball now. 15 minutes to go. 2nd and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Loaded backfield from Sam Levitt. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Levitt going to fire inside to Jordan Tyson. He's going to bump outside.
Ooh.
And maybe a late hit on Jordan Tyson. Definitely an awkward collision between him and VJ Payne after the play. We'll bring up 3rd down. It was about a 5-yard pickup for Jordan Tyson. Bring up 3rd and 6. 14:45 remaining. Arizona State, like I just said, up a total of 3 scores now. 18 points separates the Sun Devils from the Wildcats. Sam Levitt trips to his left, one to his right. Going to hand off to Tyson, not a handoff, a pass over to Tyson. And he'll get a decent pickup. We'll bring up 4th and 2 into K-State territory. Now Kenny Dillingham going to have a question for this one. Punt unit has not come out. Arizona State likely to go for this one. We talked about it in pregame, Ryan. Kenny Dillingham about as gutsy of a coach as it comes. So Levitt now, under center. Cam Scadaboo, who else in the backfield? Going to be a hard count from Sam Levitt, and they'll take the delay a game, and they'll decide to punt this one away. So we'll bring up 4th and 7 for the punt crew.
Yeah, smart move trying to draw the false start, but Kansas State knows that in these situations. The punt team is going to head out, assumingly, even though Dillingham is kind of going bonkers on the sideline. But not the worst drive for ASU. You got some time off the clock, got into the 4th quarter of action. You're still up 3 scores. You're in a good spot if you're the Sun Devils. But, actually, Ronan, my correction, it seems like ASU's still going to go for it on 4th and 7 regardless.
Interesting here from Kenny Dillingham. Maybe he wanted to go for it, didn't want to take that charge timeout. So Levitt now. Might be another hard count again, and it's going to be an offsides call. They're going to get him on the hard count. It wasn't a lineman. It was a linebacker up in coverage. It was number 10, Jacob Parris, not a linebacker, a cornerback, excuse me. It was offsides, and Arizona State is going to get the 5 yards here, bring up 4th and 2. So refresh everything you hear. You saw him got on the hard count and Parrish clear as day. Sam Levitt caught him looking. So 13-14 remaining in this 4th quarter, in this ball game. 18 points separating. 4th and 2 now. Levitt in the shotgun. Going to send Mateer over to the right side of the formation. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Levitt again. Is this a hard count again? It is. Arizona State's certainly taking a lot of time off the clock with this series. Not quite sure what going through Kenny Dillingham's head.
No, I mean, this seems like impeccable game management, Ronan, trying to play different schematical sides of cat and mouse here. You force the offsides call after getting the delay of game. You keep the clock rolling when you're not even playing the ball at all on 4th down, doing as much as you can to delay any type of offense and rhythm for Kansas State. And then you finally bring the punt team out four plays later.
And now back to return is Andre Davis for K-State. 3 seconds left on the play clock. 4th and 7. And it looks like it's going to be an additional delay of game. Trying to give their punter every bit of time. We saw that last punt bounce off the 1-yard line. And Sam Levitt sitting comfortably on the bench. He's not coming back out for 4th and 13 or 4th and 12, excuse me, in case you were worried. It's Canyon Floyd now back to punt for the Sun Devils. Wearing number 31 in white tonight.
This actually makes a lot of sense to keep doing now that I understand the rhythm of what Kenny Dillingham is trying to make happen. Floyd, we saw in his last punt attempt, he booted it through the end zone. I think for Kenny Dillingham, it was making sure that this ball wasn't going to go out for a touchback, and that time Floyd could punt with his full leg, and that one will be a fair catch from the Kansas State about 9-yard line. So, again, a smart chess match move from ASU offensively. And Kansas State will have the ball from their own 9-yard line with just under 13 minutes to go.
Andre Davis, the redshirt freshman out of Lenwood, Kansas, a Blue Valley High School product, is going to wave his left hand in the air for the fair catch. And like Ryan, you just mentioned, on the 9-yard line of their own territory. So it'll be interesting for K-State back up against the wall. This Arizona State defense has been potent and turning the ball over and forcing 3-and-out situations, especially when teams are back deep in their own end. But with that, we'll step aside for another quick intermission, and we'll return with the last couple of minutes of this fourth quarter in this ball game. We welcome you back in here to the Blaze Radio bunker in Tempe, Arizona for some Sun Devil football action with the K-State Wildcats over in the Little Apple of Manhattan, Kansas. And Avery Johnson going to hand off to Giddens out of the play action. And Giddens upfield, 30, 40, up to the 50-yard line into Arizona State territory. And that is the Giddens we know. He rolls his ankle going out of bounds. He's shaken up, but he did his job on that play. An opening 50-yard burst for K-State out of the TV timeout. And Giddens showing off why he's one of the best players in the country. It was Xavier Alford was the last man standing for Arizona State. Now Avery Johnson looking, going to fire over the top. It's caught. A two-play drive now into the 20-yard line of Arizona State. The pass was caught by number 14 of K-State, Dante Shepas, a wide receiver out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's been quiet tonight, and the tackle was made by Keith Abney. Empty backfield now for Avery Johnson, and Kenny Dillingham smartly is going to call a timeout with 11:54 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, when you get 70 yards and 2 plays given up on you, got to take a moment to recoup. If you're Arizona State here, really, really tough start for them defensively out of this drive. A lot going wrong with the initial rush from Giddens being able to zoom past the line of scrimmage, and when he gets on his horse, he's not going to stop. And then when it rains, it pours. That second pass from Johnson, a good one on the money. Now climbing back into this game slowly but surely, Kansas State is getting momentum.
And Arizona State, just unfortunate turn of events for the Sun Devils there. Have to stay mentally switched on and just continue to push ahead as we will step aside for another quick intermission, a quick break again for us, and a quick break for the Arizona State Sun Devils, courtesy of that Kenny Dillingham timeout. The energy is back in Manhattan, Kansas. Here is Avery Johnson now out of the timeout, going to flea flicker it over to the side. It's caught by number 4 of K-State. It's Joe Jackson, the redshirt freshman out of Haines City, Florida, coming away with the grab. First and goal now. K-State trying to up the tempo on this Arizona State defense at the 4th-yard line now. Avery Johnson, 2 to his right, in the shotgun. And just like that, Joe Jackson going to burst through the tackles. Going to bring up 13-24, Arizona State now. This Kansas State crowd has certainly got its energy back. The few maroon and gold fans in Manhattan certainly hushed, and I think everyone around the country for Arizona State is certainly looking at this game with some worry. Have not scored a single point in the second half as Arizona State. Last time they scored was a 47-yard field goal to conclude the first half. As Avery Johnson, empty backfield on the 2-point attempt. Got quads to his right, one to his left. apologies for the technical difficulties. For the two people that are listening to it, we appreciate you. The 2-point conversion was successful for Kansas State, so it is a 14-24 ball game, a 10-point difference, and now Arizona State in desperate need of some points.
Yeah, Ronan, they really are, and it's looking a lot like it's going to be a really wavery, interesting, difficult fourth quarter for the Sun Devils. Let's see what the 19-year-old can do. A great first half, and now it's time to recuperate and get some more yards and take your time.
And a handoff to Scadaboo right through the tackles. Be a pickup of 3 for Cameron Scadaboo and some pushing and shoving, a little bit of extracurricular activities after the play.
And that's what's going to happen in a lot of these games. And I'm excited to see how this evolves as a conference going forward, as these programs get to know each other a little bit better. The rivalries, the dismay, and the disgruntle kind of grows with each passing game. And in these close battles, you know, tempers are always going to flare from these star athletes.
The last time these two teams faced off in a college football setting, as the pass completed over the top will move the chains for Jordan Tyson, was a Sun Bowl game with a Darren Sproles-led K-State team. It was about the year 2000.
Darren Sproles.
Shout out fantasy legend, kick returner extraordinaire Darren Sproles. Carved out a fantastic career for himself in the NFL after his years in the purple and silver. And a handoff now. Play action from Levitt. Levitt fires over the top. Jordan Tyson trying to come away with it, and that will be pass interference. About a textbook case. Paris is frustrated with it, but I think everyone in the arena knew that was probably pass interference.
Yeah, you got to turn your head if you're the DB. Turned it too late, didn't find the ball. Holding on to Tyson didn't allow him to make a play for the pass. Pretty, like you mentioned, textbook, 15 yards there and another first down for ASU. Huge play to move the chains once again.